But Matt, you've been doing it for a while, right?
For a while, but this is my actual first time coming out, and talking to strangers I've never met before, so
Oh, I forgot to get that.
it's a little bit new to me too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got one more camera.
Oh, okay.
But you guys can start.
Yeah, so usually what kind of the first thing is we ask is there something you'd like to talk about? It could be any topic, it could be
Well, we can talk about the Middle East situation.
okay. Yeah, that's
How
great.
is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there something how do you usually I like to think of it in terms of a claim? Is there something you believe or something you think about the situation over there? Maybe we could
Of
explore
course, it's my homeland.
that. Okay.
And the problem is so much of Americans are ill-informed.
Okay.
And so much the government is turning a blind eye on Israel
Okay.
rather than, they keep calling us terrorists in our own homeland.
Okay.
And yet it's our homeland.
Yeah.
What the hell are you doing in our land?
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah. Okay, so that's right. You had mentioned you're from Jerusalem originally.
Yes.
So I guess you're Israeli then?
I'm a Palestinian.
Palestinian. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I know. I guess I'm familiar a little bit with the situation over there, but obviously not as much as you. But I know that there
Well,
are.
shed some light if you know something. Maybe either we correct each other or maybe you're
Okay.
right.
Yeah, my understanding is, the country of Israel was kind of founded after World War II in 47, and at the time there were Arabs Palestinians living in the area, and so when the country got created,
They are the inhabitant of the land.
right. Yeah, so Palestinians were living there,
Right.
and then the Israeli country got formed, and then
How they got formed is the question.
yeah, I don't.
Europe don't want them.
Oh, okay, so it's
and,
a
and,
post
and,
World
they,
War.
and they pressured Woodrow Wilson here
Okay,
with the Sheldon, who is the richest man in the world,
Okay.
and who actually owns the World Bank.
okay,
The International Monetary
Monetary
Fund
Fund,
belongs
yeah.
to them.
okay,
They pressured the President Woodrow Wilson to recognize an establishment of a state of Israel.
Okay.
Actually, the movement started in 1897
okay,
with a Polish lawyer by the name Chaim Herzl,
okay,
who became the first president of Israel.
okay,
And in we were under the British rule, and in 1947, that's when the Balfour Declaration came about, and they said, okay, the reason the Balfour Declaration is started is because in First World War,
yeah,
the British were losing the war with Germany.
okay,
And they came to Sheldon and said, hey, if you can convince the US president and bring in US military against Germany, then I will promise you Palestine.
okay,
Europe don't want them.
okay.
So
Be a place
they
to
came
relocate
in, they
them.
came in with a Supreme Court judge here from Chicago. They pressed the president, and the United States went into war, lost 252,000. That's one thing you guys don't know.
Oh, okay.
And when Woodrow Wilson found out in the Paris conference,
Yeah.
said, what the hell I'm in here for? He found out that the reason for bringing America to the war is because Lord Balfour of Britain promised them if they can convince the American president,
Okay.
he will give him Palestine.
Okay.
So if you go on Google and
Yeah.
check on the Paris conference for the First World War,
Yeah.
and you will find out that the American president was screaming his lungs out for what is happening and why he lost 252,000 for no reason whatsoever.
Okay.
And the United States have no reason to go into war.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
And then 1914 or 16 here, they came to Woodrow Wilson, told him, you gotta sponsor us for lifetime.
Yeah.
And then sponsoring for lifetime, you and I were still paying for everything that is called wrong to kill the Palestinians for their own homeland.
Okay.
And the M16 and the latest one, the American journalist that got shot and killed.
Oh, Pearl, wasn't it?
No,
Or-
not
was it-
Pearl. I'll tell you her name shortly. The American journalist in Palestine whom she got shot that worked for Al Jazeera.
Okay. I'm not familiar with it.
Just about a month ago.
Okay.
This just happens. And America is turning a blind eye. It's like, hey, you know, you're not a pure American, you're still a Palestinian.
Okay.
In other words, we're second-class citizens.
Okay.
That's what-
So like, let me ask you.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying. There's a lot of backstory and history, which sounds like you're very familiar with.
Yes.
I appreciate hearing
Go
it.
ahead. I'm going to try to find you the lady's name. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So what I'm interested is, so it sounds like your view is maybe that, I think you said it a couple times, the U.S. is turning a blind eye to the
Correct.
situation.
Correct.
Yeah, so like, let's maybe take that as something like we could investigate. So, because
In short, the White
Yeah.
House is not here. In short, the White House is in Tel Aviv. What they dictate
okay,
goes here in this country.
okay,
And the reason you are in the war in Syria, the war in Ukraine, the war in, trying to dictate life just so that so-called, we're going to try to save Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Yet you and I were paying for the wrong reasons.
okay,
Okay, that's all. But if Israel get off its ass and stop being a recipient of a free cash of $4 billion plus dollars
Yeah.
of American money every year,
Yeah.
rather than feeding the homeless here and taking care of the jobs,
yeah. So
They
like,
can.
let me ask, like, kind of hypothetically, let's say that, what would the situation in the Middle East need to look like, in your view?
if you
For
want
you
peace
to-
in your home,
Go ahead.
I want peace in my home. Simple as that.
Yeah. So like, if we had peace here, and if we had peace in the Middle East, would you say that, okay, the U.S. is no longer turning a blind eye to the Middle East? Like what?
If you claim you are a democratic system,
Yeah.
and you all of a sudden you're after Ukraine, you're after Syria, you're
Yeah.
after Libya, you're
Yeah.
after Iraq.
Sure.
What is your business doing in that area to start with? Worry about your own people,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I take care of my home before I take care of you, outsider.
Yeah.
And that's the main reason.
Okay.
And don't tell me it's interest in just corrupting,
Yeah.
taking the oil and making a bad government and keep creating problems and call it so-called Muslims and Christians.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is. We have lived together for years
Right.
with no issues. Only when the British and the Americans came in and created the problem for us.
Right.
That's
right.
all.
Okay.
They're called the evangelist,
Yeah.
the American evangelist. We don't need those evangelists. They're just money-making machines for
Okay.
the wrong people.
Well, let me ask, like, on a scale, say, from 1 to 100, how confident are you that kind of America has the wrong policy towards Israel and the Middle East, or is turning a blind eye to the Middle East?
They're 100% towards Israel.
Well, that's not quite what I'm asking. I'm not asking how biased is the U.S. government towards Israel. I'm asking how confident are you that that's actually the case?
It is the case.
It is
Yes,
the
I
case.
am confident.
How
Of course.
confident?
Very confident.
Okay.
Because every day when there is an issue with a killing of innocent children,
Okay.
taking them to jail, taking parts of their bodies and selling them,
Yeah.
and the United States, it's like nothing happens.
Okay. It sounds like you have a lot of evidence and examples
That's
for why you're pretty convinced.
yeah.
that
Well,
this
that's
is true.
well. You can go back to 60 Minutes.
Yeah.
60 Minutes showed it.
Okay.
Rabbis from New York and New Jersey.
Yeah.
The 6 of them. They caught them. They are in a ring of taking human bodies and selling them of these innocent young kids, 12, 13-year-old.
Okay.
That's how it is.
Well, so let me ask another question.
Yeah.
Is like what evidence could you see, or what could you learn or find out, even hypothetically, that would decrease your confidence that
You gotta publicly come up and say what's wrong is wrong and what's right is right. You gotta stop demolishing innocent people's home, making them homeless,
Yeah.
taking their land and putting settlements
Okay.
in there. you bring in European Jews that have absolutely no rights to live there, and putting there in a homeland that
Sure.
that your parents or ancestors have been Palestinians,
Yeah.
and simply, why would you make me homeless and bring these guys that never even knew this piece of land?
Sure, yeah, I hear what you're saying. I could understand that, especially growing up there, you know, like it kind of seems like the Palestinians got a raw deal, you know, out of it.
It's called the raw Jewish deal.
Yeah. Yeah. So it sounds like you're,
It's called the raw Jewish deal.
yeah, it sounds
And
like,
the Americans behind it, and you and I, we pay for it.
yeah.
Simple as that.
Would it be, do you think it'd be fair to say that like you feel pretty strongly about this? Like it's important to you? Like maybe,
Listen, if it's not important to me, I'll be a dumb son of a bitch living on this earth.
yeah,
You know, you
Yeah.
go take Iraq and cause all the corruptions between these countries and claim that there was an atomic bomb and this and why? They were, and finally they said, oh, we didn't find anything. We knew that damn thing from the beginning, so that you can steal the oil. So you want to control the oil, and you want to make sure Iraq is no longer the fourth power in the world,
Yeah.
so it doesn't threaten Israel. That's all.
Okay.
But it wasn't threatening Israel to start with.
right. Okay. Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. Like there's a lot of things that are going on in the world, and it's easy to see how it connects to,
America
Yeah.
is the perpetrator for all these problems.
yeah,
Simple as that.
yeah,
They want to control the world just like they're doing Ukraine. And today, as a matter of fact,
yeah,
one of the ministers of Ukraine says, you know what, we're going to come up with an answer, but the United States don't like it and Britain don't like it. The United States is trying to control the world and putting us in a mess and keep shooting at the wrong people, and we can make peace with Russia and let the United States stay where it is. This is the first guy that's got enough balls to come up and tell the truth.
okay.
Watch him, they'll shoot him tomorrow.
Which guy are you talking about?
He's some kind of a prime minister or minister in Ukraine.
In Ukraine, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So like, let me ask another question around this. And like, let's suppose hypothetically, I'm not saying that what you're saying is not true, but let's suppose for the moment that it were, that actually America's not trying to control the world, and our policy in the Middle East is not maybe
It's not working.
or maybe it's not as bad as you think, or maybe there's other reasons for why. If that were true, like, so if what you believed were wrong, hypothetically, how would that affect your life? Like, would it be a big deal? Like,
Listen, if things will correct it,
yeah,
I can live home. I am not allowed to go home right now and live more than 90 days, even though I was
Yeah.
born there.
Yeah.
I hold a passport there.
right,
My passport says born in Jerusalem. I cannot live. I cannot
you're
work.
not allowed to, yeah,
I am not allowed to live there.
yeah. So it would be a big deal, right?
Of course,
Yeah,
if you are if you're born in America, you have the right to come to America. But if you bring in me, European guy from somewhere, from Joe Schmo, and you kill him, he puts a trailer and kick a whole family out, and 200 acres are gone.
yeah,
Baloney,
okay,
and you have
Yeah.
the army is protecting him.
yeah. I get that. It doesn't seem fair.
It's not kosher.
Right.
Simple as that.
Like, let's suppose there's no one sitting here, but let's suppose we had an Israeli Jew that were here who
Okay.
grew up in Jerusalem,
Okay.
and we were talking to him about his views on Middle East policy. And let's
Okay.
say that he thought that actually American policy towards Israel is not biased towards the Jews, right? That
course.
actually it's quite fine. Like, what do you suppose his reasons might be for thinking that?
Because he's getting a free check from you and me.
Oh,
He's
okay.
not going to cut off that damn welfare check.
Okay.
He comes in, he leaves the country and come back without entry visa.
Yeah.
Okay, and if he can enter your country here without a visa, why is it for you as an American? In these days, as of July, they're putting restrictions on you visiting Israel.
Yeah. So, like, if hypothetically, if the restrictions on Palestinians visiting Israel were to change, like the government decides, you know what, this is not correct, we're going to change it so that Palestinians can visit or live, you know, in these areas in Israel, would that change your view?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You know, give me my rights, you'll have the rights.
Okay.
And I don't care where you live, as long as I want to live where I want to live.
Okay.
I have no objection for you living in anywhere in the West Bank.
Yeah.
As long as I have the rights to live where I want to,
Sure.
even in Israel.
Sure. Yeah, that makes
Give
sense.
me my
to
rights, you have your rights.
Right.
But don't cut me off. And when I'm riding the bus between Jerusalem and Bethlehem, you put a machine gun right in my throat rather than saying, hey. And this happened to me more than once.
Wow, really?
Absolutely.
Wow.
He don't say, hey, give me your ID. He puts the machine gun right on your throat.
Wow.
When you hand him the American passport, he backs up a little bit. It doesn't mean he's respecting you.
Yeah.
You're still a Palestinian, you're here for his face.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he puts the machine gun right on your throat.
Wow.
Sitting in a bus.
Wow. Yeah.
And
That's hard.
I'm gonna tell you one simple thing. In 1977,
Yeah.
I've had my American passport stepped on. They humiliated me. They beat me up
Wow.
between Jerusalem and a nearby city on a so-called checkpoint.
Yeah.
And I never forget the vice consul. His name is Mr. Griffith. I go to the American consulate. I say, Mr. Griffith, look what happened to me. They beat me up. They took the wheels off of my Peugeot my cousin had given me to drive.
Yeah.
And here's the passport from these American Jews from New York. They told me, screw you, fuck you, and all that names, you know?
Uh-huh.
He says, you know, we get it every day and there's nothing we can do.
Wow.
His name is Mr. Griffith.
Wow.
I'll never forget his name. They cover up, man.
Wow.
They cover up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this was a good conversation. We can talk more if you like, but so like, just so you kind of understand, like, I was kind of trying to understand, like, you know, the reasons you feel that way, and if those reasons were to change, if that would change your view.
Absolutely.
I think I understand kind of where
Give me
you're
my
coming
rights as a human being, just
Yeah.
like your rights.
from. Yeah.
That's what I'm doing.
Right.
It's a good time to wrap up. I think they were looking for
Okay. Well, that was a good conversation. I
Indeed,
appreciate
sir.
it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Did you get his first name?
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to ask you your name. My apologies.
Today is John and tomorrow is John. We
Okay.
will change.
John and John. Got
Perfect.
it. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Take this business card if you.
If you're interested in
Look it up.
the
Sure.
conversation techniques, you know.
Yeah.
I'll see if you put it up.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going
please
to be
do.
watching it if you
Okay.
put it up.
Thanks.